Hello YouTube. So, guess what? Remember how I said my Cattleya Aclandiae had a bud, or possibly a third leaf? It was a bud. And look, she is open, she is beautiful, and she's starting to develop a fragrance. It's only been 3 days since this one has opened, and in that space of time, she is starting to have a fairly strong scent. Not quite as strong as the walkriana so far, but the smell is similar to walkriana. It's kind of sweet. It has a bit of a honey thing going on, and it's hard to describe, but there's also something quite chemically there. It's not mothballs like some Cattleyas, but it's definitely something chemical. And my plant is doing well, and I'm actually really pleased with the form of this one. The petals are quite flat. The one problem is that they curl in the back. See how it curls in the back? If those were actually more open, my display would be a little bit better. But other than that, really pleased with this one. This is a keeper for sure. And this is the first time she's ever bloomed for me. I got it from Seattle Orchid, and she is in hydroponics. And this one's due for a watering. You can just look at the roots and see that it needs some water. She is grown under LED lights as well. Nothing special is being done for this one, and yeah, really pleased with this. I've never seen a pure Cattleya Aclandiae bloom before, so this is a first, and I'm excited to see what that fragrance develops into as it goes on. And seeing as how I've got one spotted orchid in bloom, I thought I'd show you another one. This one is Zygopetalum Advanced Australia, and the clonal name is HOF, I believe. This one's very fragrant. It smells nothing like Cattleya Aclandiae. The fragrance on this is very sweet, very lilac-y. It smells nothing like hyacinth. I know a lot of orchid people say Zygopetalums smell like hyacinth. This one does not. She made 2 new growths and 3 spikes total. And she's very fragrant right now. What else was I going to say about her? This one is not doing well. I think I killed it. I can't quite figure out how to water it in my potting setup. It's got a lot of moss, and that moss is degrading quite quickly. But in other parts of it, it has lots of clay and pot shards and hydrogen. So I think what's happening here is that parts of the pot are too wet, parts of it are too dry. So I think this one's kind of in a very awful state of decline. This is one I will replace if it does die. And I already have a couple hybrids that are similar to her. I have the Zygopetalum Revdale, and I have the Zygopetalum, oh geez, I can't remember what it's called. I have 2 of them that have a similar color pattern. None of them smell like this one though. This one has a really powerful scent. One of my Zygos with the similar color pattern smells like tobacco and roses, and the other one, I mean, it smells sort of like it, but it's not as strong. The Revdale, I should say. So, if this one is around again, I will probably buy another one. Sad to see that mine is doing so horribly, but it is what it is. You gotta experiment and figure out what to do with these, unfortunately. So my Cattleya walkriana is blooming. Actually, all of my Cattleya walkrianas are in spike again, so this is exciting because I think they're all going to get a 3rd or 4th flush of blooms going before the end of the year, which is really awesome. And she is very fragrant. She's really kicking the butt out of the fragrance on my Cattleya Aclandiae, even though it's sort of similar. Walkriana is definitely a sweeter fragrance, though. I did expand onto the pot. I'm not going to divide her because she's just performing so well. And she's branching out like crazy. So this one's going to be a really star performer, and I don't want to divide her just yet. And she has another bud coming here, and she's got another direction of growth right there. So it's got 3 directions of growth going on right now, and all of them seem to be willing to make buds. So really awesome. So how I added this kind of new addition to the pot is I literally just poked holes, and I use that heavy gauge floral wire to hold it in place, and then I'm using some stones I got while I was camping with my dad to weigh it down. And I am trying to get some wicks going to these new roots. The new roots that are popping out are drying out a bit too much, so they're not growing as strongly as they probably should. But hopefully those roots will be enticed to go into the reservoir and hydrate the plant even more. As far as hydration goes on this one, check out that bulb, or pseudobulb I should say. It's pretty fat. And even on this new flowering growth, the bulbs are pretty fat. So, and yeah, this is kind of what I did. I just kind of cut out a section of the pseudobulb, or it's not the pseudobulb, jeez, I can't speak today. I cut out a section of the Tupperware and I just attached it in there at an angle so that the growths will be at the proper height, and it'll just kind of keep growing in there, and I plan on keep adding bowls, Tupperware containers onto the original one until it's completely too big and I'm sick of it and I need to divide it. So, and have a look at my roots. They look a little black and stained up, but for the most part those are all alive, chunky, and providing hydration to the plant. So I'm not going to go ahead and bring this out from the grow stand, but my Brassico Distel Gilded Tower Mystic Maze is in bloom again on a very large spike, and she is actually maturing another growth as we speak. So this one's going to probably be in bloom a lot this year as well. So very awesome plant, really digging it. Just wanted to show you my new spike on one of my walkrianas. It is down here, kind of hard to see with the light, but it's got 2 buds. I wanted to give you an update on my zygos as well. So this is the Zygo Mathena Meadows, and I have her in hydroponics, wick watering, with barely any media, and as you can see the new bulb is fat. I don't know if this is a new growth or a spike, but I'll take it whatever it is. My old leaves are a bit raggedy. So I'm not really sure how to fix that. Seems like Zygopetalum leaves are just bad in general, but here's the roots, what the roots are like right now. See that? There's some roots going into the reservoir, and there's roots all along the bottom of the pot where it's moist, and along the sides where the wick is at. So I consider this to be a semi-success. I mean, the roots probably aren't as in good of shape as they could be if I was using a different method, but they're doing quite well, and I think this one's gonna live. I can always change how I'm potting it later on as well, because it's quite a small plant. So that one's doing good. My other zygo, my Zygopetalum Revdale, is also, this one's probably doing the best out of all my zygos right now. And I potted it up in just really tiny pumice, and I used wicks. And in the center of this one, it does have some sphagnum moss, and as you can see I have a lot of healthy roots. A lot of those roots are branching out, and I'm expecting it to start taking over the reservoir quite soon. So this seems to be the best method of growing these, and my roots that are popping out of her are very healthy, and my bulbs are probably going to be very fat. So as far as Zygopetalums go, pumice, a little bit of sphagnum, and then wick watering seems to be the best method. And I'm glad that this Zygopetalum is doing well, because the coloration is very similar to the Advanced Australia that I have that is getting to be quite sick, and it is blooming, but it's sick. So last update for you, my Cattleya Aclandiae by oh geez, what's the hybrid called? Oh, it's Cattleya Christina Ricci, I believe is the name. It has a bud. It's another Aclandiae hybrid with Brassivola nicodosa. It's crossed back to Aclandiae pretty much. I used to have this one and I killed it. The new growths just rotted off on it constantly, so I was like, hey, I'm tossing it out and getting a new one. This is the new one, so hopefully it's as good as my old one. My old one was fantastic. So, and I know this video is getting a bit long. I do have my Brassivola in bloom. Actually, it's a Rincovola, Jiminy Cricket in bloom. She's got buds on a bunch of growths, and I also attached a Tupperware onto the old Tupperware so that it can branch out and start growing into the new container. Neostylus lucernary bluebird has 2 spikes, so that's good. And this one is on its way out. I think I might replace her, I might not. But she's also quite sick, so I messed up with this one. And with that, I think I'm going to call this an update, because I'm sure the video itself is quite long. But yeah, have a good one, and I wish you luck in all of your orchid gardening endeavors. Bye-bye.